all we really have to talk about is like the final battle stuff, which is like pretty well.
Yeah, and like whatever wrap up bullshit.
Yeah, and then I figure we'll talk about the Snapchat epilogue, the the
The true epilogue.
yeah,
The only epilogue.
the only epilogue that was ever released. That I know of.
It's so good that they just like did that little thing and then they just like didn't do anything else after it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's important.
So before we begin, however, we all said we were gonna fucking drink on this one because it's the last one. So just before I share the official cocktail of the podcast, why don't you guys tell me what are you guys drinking?
I'm drinking a Prophet's Blood, which is the official cocktail of the Times Apprentice musical. It is vodka, cranberry juice, and Sprite all to taste. I have gone a little bit heavy on the vodka today because why the fuck not?
Yeah, getting a little saucy, a saucy sailor, if you will. Bucky, what
That
are your...
is not a phrase I would ever use, but yes.
Yeah, actually, women at sea is bad luck, so you can't be a sailor, I'm sorry.
Oh,
That's all those pirates who fought with one tit out sure are upset about that.
Are you telling me I can't live my Vriska fantasies?
I'm sorry,
Suck.
no.
God, I ended up dropping off of the Rosemary Month challenge. I hope they're all having a good time, but I started a new job on October 4th, so that just didn't pan out. But what I wanted to do for the pirate prompt was draw like Rose and Kanaya at the wheel of a ship.
Oh my God.
In the pose of those two there's two pirate ladies who were very good friends. They were very good friends, and they both fought with one titty out so that the people that they killed knew that they were killed by a woman. Like that was why they had one tit out. And I think that's just a cool power move. But I wanted to draw that, and then I was like, but wait, aren't there like kids in the Rosemary Month server? Maybe I shouldn't draw like two discrete titties, and then I left anyways.
There definitely are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bucky, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a $7 bottle of a white wine blend that's called Kitchen Sink. Janaya thought I was joking until I sent a picture of the bottle.
I thought you were making like
That's
a crack about like pouring a bunch of alcohol together.
For fans of NADPOD, it's like bathtub mead.
Does it taste as bad
mead.
as it sounds it tastes like?
Like bathtub mead or kitchen sink wine? Because the kitchen sink wine is not. It's not wine that was made in the sink, as far as I'm aware.
No, I mean the idea of a blended white wine sounds awful to me, but that's mostly because I don't love white wine to begin with.
Well, one, it tastes like white wine.
Okay.
Two, when I was in college, I drank like $6 bottles of Moscato that I got from the Walgreens down the street.
No.
So I don't think I'm a very good authority on what alcohol tastes like.
Look, $6 Moscato is about the only kind of wine I actually like. So
Okay, but when I say $6 bottle of Moscato, I don't mean a small bottle at $6. I mean a liter bottle that costs $6 because it's cheap.
No, that's what I mean as well. Your story about the Rosemary Month thing reminds me. The only thing I've incidentally done for Rosemary Month has been Anna and I did a recording of Daydreamers comic of like the Kanaya finds a history book talking about how like, oh, if historians were to describe us, they would describe us as the best of friends.
Yeah.
That was so
very
sweet.
cute.
It was a lot of fun.
That was such a cute comic.
And that was just a thing I had suggested that we do. Like, it wasn't planned in any way.
Oh, man. Yeah. That's some good drinking stuff.
Yeah.
I'm glad we filled some time with other than Homestuck because, like, I got nothing to say about some of these parts. I will now reveal to you, the listener, the humble listener who we are now sort of massaging the ears of, with our voices and tones, the official cocktail of the pod of Rewriting Homestuck. It's called leprechaun piss. And let me elucidate the sort of ingredients that are in this thing.
Yes, please do tell us what's in this.
So what you do is you go over to Chick-fil-A and you go get a Dr. Pepper, and when you've drank about a quarter of it, you fill the rest of the cup with absinthe.
That sounds...
And then you just go ahead and drink it.
Wretched.
I should have known, given it was you, that it was going to be absinthe.
Yeah, I've really fallen into the fucking green fairy, guys. I love this. I love this green. I love this licorice.
I don't think I would enjoy absinthe. How alcoholic is absinthe?
No, it's god awful.
I feel like it's like not as alcoholic as I thought.
Very, like, more than vodka.
I mean, that's not like I feel like it's liquor, but it's not like fucking Everclear.
It's like. So, let me explain how absinthe is supposed to be drunk, which is not the way I drink it, by the way. I'll explain the correct procedure, and then I'll explain the JoJo procedure.
There's 2 ways of drinking it, right?
The one I know of is you get a spoon, and you balance it on a glass, and you, like, pour ice water over a sugar cube into the absinthe, and it's, like, half and half. That, to me, is fucking insane. All I do is I just, like... pour out some and then put a sugar cube in it, and I don't fuck around with watering it down, because why would you water it down? It tastes really good. But yeah, I'm kind of a sort of a degenerate style human person, which is fine, but I just drink it like, you know, straight with some sugar.
Yeah, I've never had absinthe, but from the description of it, it sounds like it would be abysmal.
It's licorice. It's also hard liquor that tastes like licorice.
Yeah, no, I like licorice, but that doesn't sound appealing. Also, lighting it on fire is the other.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll describe it this way: it's like angry licorice.
Licorice.
The world's most pissed off licorice. But yeah, with enough sugar and sort of, I mean, the thing about like vodka is that when you mix cocktails with it, you're trying so desperately to like cover up the taste of it. Or if you're doing the same thing with like tequila and Patron and stuff like that, you're trying so desperately to like cover it up. Yeah. Because
Everclear.
Yeah, or Everclear. But with absinthe, you can't. You cannot. It is so fucking fragrant. Right, it is so yeah, the anise is just so fragrant. It's beautiful.
Same with gin. Christ, it tastes like pine, kind of. Like I forget what it's actually made out of. I should Google that.
Which is
juniper.
Yeah,
that explains
exactly.
why it tastes like that. So the first time I have 2 stories. One, you said Dr. Pepper. I was reminded of like our household standard that we pretty much only call Dr. Pepper Dr. PP. So that seems like perfect for leprechaun.
That's awesome.
I knew this was coming because of our
great.
Discussion elsewhere. But
I said that earlier.
Yeah. No,
it's very bad for you. I had like 4 ounces of 99% alcohol.
I have a friend who makes a apple pie moonshine using Everclear as the base, and she adds like all of this like shit to it, which has the effect of completely disguising the taste of the Everclear, but not significantly reducing the alcohol content. So it's like it absolutely sneaks up on you because it tastes like vaguely alcoholic, like cinnamon, appley. It's like apple pie spice, but like with a lot of alcohol in it. But it has a lot of alcohol in it.
Let's talk about Homestuck or something.
Yeah, I guess.
Fucking. So basically, sorry, I'm getting advertised bras on fucking Twitter, and it's great because like that's not what I want to buy Twitter, but like thank you for showing me tits. Anyway, this episode of Homestuck Rewritten is about the end of the comic. The end of the comic in terms of like the final battles as well as all the threads that get wrapped up. There's a lot of shit that happens, like Caliborn's masterpiece. There's a lot of shit with like the fate of, you know, the Beta Kids, which is very scary. There's like a final showdown between Lord English and Vriska. Just this sense of like finality, and I want to talk about that. But first, I want to talk about the cultural impact of like Homestuck ending was, because let's remember, Homestuck went pretty hard from about 2009 to 2012 and then fell off. And between basically 2012 and 2016, there was this slow drip feed of just a couple pages every once in a while. And just, I always kind of think it's crazy that I live in a post-Homestuck ending world, because by the time, it was about 2015 rolled around, it was already passé to like Homestuck. And there's been a resurgence in recent years, but I don't know. It's an interesting feeling to be like, the comic ended after the hype was dead. What are you guys what are your general thoughts about the ending of the comic?
I mean, like, I don't really have a touchstone for that. So, like, the thing is, like, as we've discussed multiple times, I'm the archival reader of the group, and I started reading Homestuck I started reading Homestuck, I tried to read it in 2016, I got bored because I have ADHD, and there's a lot of fucking words, and I wasn't in a good place to read it, so I, like, didn't read it, and then I read it in 2019 and got, like, way too fucking into it, as evidenced by the fact that I'm on this podcast right now. But, like, even though I had kind of like a vague awareness of Homestuck, I wasn't like online back then for reasons that y'all both know and aren't important to the podcast. So I didn't really have like a good sense of like this community that was out there or like what it was like to end. So I kind of got a little like feeling of that when I started reading the comic and finished it, because I got done with it and I was like looking for fan content, and I got this sense of like there was this community that was kind of like in a weird place, because that was around when like Pester Quest was out and was coming out, and Friends Him had come out, and like everything was kind of in a strange place. But like, yeah, I don't really have a sense of like what it felt like for the comic to end and like what that meant, because my whole experience has been post Act 7. So my experience is more like what was happening, once all the post canon content was coming out, which oh boy, that's probably beyond the scope of this particular episode, but I have some feelings about that. So yeah, I think Bucky will have more to say on this than I will.
Bucky, what are your thoughts on the end of Homestuck?
What are my thoughts on the end of Homestuck? The aforementioned girlfriend and her roommate, who was also her ex-girlfriend, I did force them to watch the final animation, like, the day it came out 2 or 3 times. Like, I watched it at my dorm room, I ran to his apartment, and I was like, we are watching this animation right now, and they're like, wait, what animation? I was like, the animation that's the ending of Homestuck, and they're like, we haven't read Homestuck. I'm like, I don't care, you're watching it. And like, I went back and forth on it. So initially, I was like, oh, holy shit, we're actually getting an ending? Like, there was nothing for a while, and now we're getting an update, and it's the ending? Holy shit, I didn't think I'd ever see the ending of Homestuck. Because I joined the fandom in early 2011, so 5 years, right? 2016, 2011? When did it end? It ended in 2016, right?
2016 it ended.
Yeah, I was 5 years into the fandom, and I was, because I'd followed other things that took that long to conclude. Like, I was using Google Reader to hold all the RSS feeds of my webcomics in 2010. Like, I followed... I'm trying to... I know, right? Google Reader's long dead. What was it that I followed? There was Evil Diva, which like got rebooted and discontinued like 3 times and is gone now. My brain's only supplying the meme-based specific My Little Pony subforum that I was on without watching any of the television show. I don't know, I'm not going to be able to remember any of them. I did used to have a spreadsheet that I showed to a girl who ended up asking me out because I showed her my webcomic spreadsheet, so like, do with that information what you will. She had an Undertale tattoo, and one day she woke me up by dripping sriracha into my side shave.
That's just, what the fuck?
Oh god, I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Ending of Homestuck. Her persona was an opossum, if that helps explain anything.
Yeah, it does actually.
She was a trans woman also. God, I got way off track. Ending of Homestuck. I made my ex-girlfriend and her ex-girlfriend watch it twice. I didn't quite have the same reaction, like, so like we already covered that like Vriska came back, I screamed and threw shit. I didn't quite have that reaction, but at the time I was like, wow, I'm so glad it's over and like everyone seems pretty happy and like a bunch of stuff resolved.
Yeah.
And at the time I remember people like saying like, oh well, I'm unsatisfied with the ending, and then other people saying, well, Homestuck was always a story about stories. It was never going to have an ending that satisfactorily wrapped up like each individual character arc, because the point was always the overarching journey. And at the time I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then Homestuck ended. I was still into it, but sort of like there was no new content coming, so I sort of fell off the wagon. I graduate college, Friend Sim starts coming out. I think my last semester of college, my last year of college, right at the beginning of my senior year, Hive Swap came out. Or Hive Swap Back 1 came out. I graduate college, Friend Sim starts coming out. And then in early 2019, I start getting back into the Homestuck fandom by searching Homestuck on my podcatcher and getting Redacted podcast, and I listened to them for a while before, I don't know how, we've been bitchy, but I don't want to get too specific here.
No.
I met Janaya.
Listeners, if you know, you know.
And then I met Janaya. No, that's not true. Then I started getting into, like, the wider fans. Like, I had gotten back into said podcast, and I didn't engage with, like, any other fan works. I think I went back and read a couple of my favorites from 2014. But it wasn't until I started my own podcast I started re-engaging with the actual fandom again. And then I started encountering people who were highly unhappy with the ending. And then, like, 2 or 3 months passed, and we got a new ending.
Oh boy, fucking monkey's paw.
That
was right.
I think I've told you guys, I was like, all I wanted was for Rose and Dirk to talk again. All I wanted was for daddy-daughter, like, philosophy conversations.
Man, wouldn't it be cool, you guys, if Jade and Rose and Kanaya got in a polycule?
Like, so I started reading that. So I finished the comic like right before the epilogues dropped, because I read it in like June or something of 2019, and then was like poking around FanWorks, and then eventually I was like, oh, there's an epilogue. Oh, that's going to be neat. Like, it's going to continue the story and like address the stuff that was in the Snapchat epilogues. Snapchat.
Well, remember, we had already had a Homestuck 2, full stop, not squared, not anything else,
right.
2, teased by Dante Bosco.
Oh my god. This is getting in the weeds.
For me, it was all like random. I was like picking through all this shit that the fandom left behind, and like I didn't know anyone in the fandom yet, because I didn't get into like actually interacting with people until later in 2019, not 9. I don't know why I was going to say that. But like fucking, because I'm drunk, that's why. But like I didn't get to know people. I got into the Lady Stuck 2020 thing and got to start knowing people, and then I got into the podcast formerly known as Will It Homestuck in like early 2020. So yeah.
Anyways, my point was, initially I was pretty cool with it. Then I didn't think about it for a while. Then I came back to the fandom and people were like upset with the ending. Then the monkey's paw curled. Now I'm fine with it. Now I'm fucking fine with it. The ending was tops. I'm so glad that Homestuck the comic ended and we never got anything else.
Like that's the thing, is like the ending is actually like in isolation without all the shit that happened after. Because I wanted all that stuff to be like good, and I didn't like it. I liked it at first, and then I didn't, for reasons that we vaguely alluded to. I'm not going to fucking talk about right now. But like,
you know, maybe we'll have a quarantine episode where we just reserve all of the bitching about that. But like, other people have complained about that to the extent that like I feel like I'd be rehashing shit and also giving them attention they don't deserve.
But like, the ending is pretty okay. Like, it's just, you know, it ends. It's got the Snapchat epilogues that are like, they're very vague, and they kind of like, there's nothing wrong with them. They have all these like implications that you can pull on if you want to do that, or you could just fucking ignore it. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine. I don't know if we're.
Oh, the Snapchat epilogue.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to mention. I don't know if you knew this, Janai. It was actually on Snapchat.
No, I know that. I didn't see it on Snapchat because like nobody fucking used Snapchat by the time 2019 rolled around. But like.
Sorry, I still use my Snapchat.
Why the fuck do you do that?
Because sends me videos, and that's like
valid.
pretty
that's
much it.
Valid.
what was I gonna say? No, the Snapchat updates were on Snapchat, and then they just kind of weren't on the website for a while, and they did eventually get added, but, like, that, I don't know, the ending of Homestuck was sort of, like, was a slow limp, if you will, like, if Homestuck Squared starts back up again and actually publishes anything, I will find a hat to eat and fry it and eat it. You can fucking mark that down, I will.
I'm not gonna do anything, I'm just gonna ignore it.
Yeah, but, like, that assumes that I'm in some sort of circle that would make me aware of that, and I hope I never am. But,
I'm not gonna fucking
I like to think that the friends that I've chosen are, like, discerning enough that they wouldn't fucking do that to me.
No.
But, even if they did care. But, like, I don't know, it had this slow limp where, like, we had disparate little bits of, like, additional things that slowly filtered into the website, and then the epilogues dropped, and then we started getting more comic, but, like, my relationship to the ending has evolved over time, mostly depending on fan reactions, and then, now, within the past 9 months tops, I feel like I've, like, gotten to a point where I've matured enough that I have my own opinions on it. I know that's weird, but, like, I've been doing some shit.
Fucking great.
Going through some shit.
I think, fuck. Yeah, that's a lot. We've talked a lot about the meta, the things surrounding the ending. But let's get into the actual content, because there's a lot here, and there's a lot of threads that don't tie together very satisfactorily that a lot of people were pissed at, but there are ones that are, like, kind of cool, actually, that aren't elaborated on. The biggest thing, I think, about the content of the epilogue, or the ending is that, like, so the problem is, like, you start to realize that no one really interacts with the main antagonist except for Vriska, which is, like, it's interesting. She's the only person who is there to, like, actually fight them, other than, of course, the kids trapped in the juju, right? So it's, like, it's a little fucked up, in my opinion, because we have this whole, like, I've said before that Hussey is good at going to point A to point B and sort of, drawing a squiggly line between them. Mm-hmm. But in this case, it's kind of weird because, like, the people who we've been following don't really have anything to do with the final confrontation. And we do get a lot of, like, stuff about, like, oh, cool, they finished the game. Oh, cool, they beat the contest. Oh, cool, they beat Lord English. Or it's implied that they did. But not many of them are involved, where that's... It's one of two things. It's either everything's already wrapped up, so why bother, or just why wasn't anyone there? Vriska seems like, why would she be the only person fighting Lord English? That kind of thing. I'm gonna start with this one with Bucky, because my question is, like, what did you think? Were you satisfied with the ending?
No.
When it came out.
The animation was cool, but I remember, and I feel bad that this was my reaction knowing now how that final animation was produced. But when I watched that final animation, my reaction was, why is it so anime? Did they really commit to the Homestuck as an anime joke that hard? Like, for those who are unaware, there was a running joke in the fandom for years that people would make mock anime openings and mock anime screenshots and try to convince the general public that Homestuck was an anime, because Homestuck was so weird and people, like, knew of that big fandom that keeps ruining conventions, but a lot of people didn't know what it was. So the joke that Homestuck was an anime got really prevalent because you could legitimately trick people. There were a lot of good artists who made quality animations and screenshots. So, like, at the time I was like, why are we committing to this bit? The art style changed so much. Like, this is clearly not Andrew Hussey's art. Why does it look like this? Why is it going so quickly? Like, why wait, what do you mean? We skipped over the bit where they actually went through the door? They're suddenly all on this new Earth planet? What's going on? Like, there was a lot of, like, wait, whoa, what? Slow down, kind of, like, you're speeding through the conclusion, you're speeding through the resolution, like, why? And, like, I mean, mostly I was just sort of confused, and I was like, well, that's the end. Got that off my plate. I guess I'll be obsessed with this for the rest of my life. But
no, yeah, okay, that's huge. For me, it was like, oh, it's finally over. Thank fucking Christ. And that was fine. I was just happy. I was just like, oh, cool, it's over. Anyway, time to do homework.
Right.
Continue.
Like, it was over, and, like, a significant period of my life was kind of over, but, like, at that point in time, I was already deep in the MCU fandom. I was deep in the Steven Universe fandom.
Oh, God.
I realize that I'm saying things that explain a lot about me and where I am as a person right now.
Oh my God!
I got into Steven Universe like the week after whatever the fuck the episode is where Garnet is revealed to be Garnet.
Nice.
Like a week after that aired was when I got into the Steven Universe fandom. It was like October 2014. So like I was already in that fandom. I had watched The Winter Soldier summer of 2014 and was super into that fandom. Like, I'm trying to remember what else. Check Please, the hockey webcomic I was super into. The gay hockey webcomic.
Oh my God, you just...
Should I just unlock some shit?
Bucky, you're unlocking my fucking...
Biddy, the blonde figure skater from Georgia who went to Massachusetts for college.
What's the one... Ava's Demon. Ava's Demon was the
Ava's Demon, because she was a Homestuck veteran. I don't think she actually made art. I was also into Ava's Demon at that point because it was another comic. It was like the first non-MSPFA comic that I encountered that had a single panel per. Like, if you clicked on the panels, it would go through. There's a single panel per page. It was clearly an MSPA like graduate or whatever. Like, if we're talking about like, if I were to compare the webcomic scene to, say, Adventure Time and Phineas and Ferb, like, you've got the creators who started on those shows and branched out. Like, Pendleton Ward is the mentor of Rebecca Sugar and Ian Jones-Quartey, and Alex Hirsch is the mentor of Dana Terrace, and Noelle Stevenson was like on Wander Over Yonder and a couple things. Like, those people have mentors earlier in their industry, and like similarly, Andrew Hussey went on to inspire Shelby and Danny Craig, the author of Ava's Demon, Kill 6 Billion Demons, although that was a more traditional, that started on the MSPA forums, although it is a more traditional comic. Like, there is a lineage to draw from Homestuck as well. Ava's Demon was also one I was into. Because they also had animations. That was also one of the other first webcomics I encountered that had animations with music. Where the music was produced first for the comic, and the animation was done based on the music instead of the other way around. That was a huge thing for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, suffice it to say, like, I was into other fandoms, so, like, it ending then wasn't actually as much of a huge deal for me as like, coming back a la Donald Glover and Community to find the room on fire.
Yeah, I got some bad news.
I'm done with mine.
I've drank too much. I'm
2 sips into my fucking drink,
right
y'all.
now. I fucked up. I
drunk. I'm not gonna get into
put too much absinthe in my
We're not done yet, JoJo.
item.
You gotta finish the episode drunk now.
Oh man, I don't want to.
Also heard that and turns around and
I fucking hate this.
I mean, we can stop if you want to. I think it'd be funny if we kept going.
Let's for you listeners at home, we're what the fuck am I saying? We're gonna go take a break to sober up. We're gonna drink some water and take a cold shower, and we're gonna be back with more of this. The first 30 minutes of this podcast is
God,
completely fucking garbage, and we're gonna leave every solitary second of it inside of the episode because we're professionals.
That was the plan.
This is the episode where we open up and we just get like so goddamn tired of talking about Homestuck that we just get drunk instead, and like, that's
I don't think
the
I've
vibration.
said this on the podcast, but I've been saying it to my friends. Like, this is my last big Homestuck event. Like, I've got a trailer for the Winter Showcase. I've got to finish the Vantage video. I said I'd do a video on like at least 2 other Homestuck characters that I'm gonna finish because I said I'd do it. But like, I'm so done with the Homestuck fandom.
It really sucks to see people like get shitty about like, you know, just trying to exist and create things, and like some really bad faith commentary, and that sucks because like the creative energy is really, really high, and you get people that just want to tear that down because I don't fucking know why, because they're shitty people, or they got something else going on and they don't know how to do it.
They probably pissed their pants that morning. That's why
they might have pissed their pants. You know what? They might have done that. I don't know, but like it still sucks that they do that because like I've got really good friends.
Piss my pants in the morning. I get mad.
Yeah, exactly. I've really good friends that have been pushed out because of that.
I have to stop recording because I'm going to fall asleep because I get sleepy when I'm drunk. You guys are so special.
This is gonna be an interesting.
This is gonna be an
30
interesting
minutes.
one.